62 KGW.
So anyway, Craig, here we are in Palm Springs.
Long time, Bry.
More than 20 years, something like that.
Yeah, much more than 20 years.
So the whole idea of this video is to revisit the years of 62 KGW from the beginning to, I'll say it, to the end.
Yeah, there was an end.
There was an end.
I never foresaw that.
Oh.
Never saw that coming.
Yeah. Let's start. I know, having been around you for years, I know some limited knowledge of your career. Let's start early. Was it Crow? Was it Dallas first, or
yeah? When I was in my teens, my dad was the owner of the station. So, being a firm believer in the work ethic, like he was, he needed a weekend guy, and he had one living in his house. Although I was only 13, 14 years old, on Sundays, all you do in those days in small market radio was the local pastors would come in and do their little shows, and you'd play discs, do all kinds of public affairs stuff, and that's when they fulfilled their public affairs commitment. So they needed somebody to start the tapes and start the records, so that's what I did.
Was before that? What were you thinking of going into radio as a kid?
Not even
before
a
that?
minute.
Okay, yeah.
No, I
here.
never gave it any thought. Dad thought I should do that, and so for $1.25 an hour, I would do that, and then it developed into actually being on the air every day. When I was in high school, I did an afternoon shift after school if I wasn't playing sports, and all through college, I worked every day in college. That's how I got through school. And,
That was Crow, right? Was that Crow, or was that something
yeah, that
else?
was so Crow. And then I left Crow in 1969 when I had to go into the military. I was in the National Guard, but I had to do active duty.
Yeah.
So I left Crow. And in fact, they fired me my last day on the air because I think it was a law, still is, I think, that if you leave for military duty, leave a job, it needs to be available when you get back, I think. And so they fired me, so they wouldn't have to have a slot for me when I got back. So that was a dark time.
Was somebody else owning it at the time? That wasn't Dad.
Oh yeah,
was it?
my dad was not involved.
Okay, yeah.
So I did the active duty, and I came back and ended up walking in off the street to a station in Corvallis, K-Flock.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where I was supposed to go. It's a long story. I was supposed to go there when I got out of the military. The owners said there'd be a job waiting for me when I got out, but they didn't own the station at that time. They were in the process of buying.
Okay.
The sale fell through, so there was no job.
Oh.
But I walked in off the street and I got a job. One day, walked in.
That's beautiful.
Looking for work. You're hired, and that was that. I came to Portland in 1970 at KPAM, 2.5 years.
That's where I first took notice of you. Were you afternoon drive at the time?
I was a number of things, including the PD at the end. But I think I was after. I try to remember. I came in early in the morning and did news in morning drive. And then I can't remember those middays right.
Okay. I first took notice of you because my good friend, our former co-worker, Jim Donovan, at the time, his name was Jeff Thomas.
Jeff.
Jeffrey Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. And him and I were going to church together. We were in youth group together.
I hired him. I gave him his first
You
job.
hired him. And you used to come over on Wednesday nights to play basketball at the church.
We played basketball and we ran a lot together. We
Yeah.
were runners too. So
And
we spent a lot of time.
I wasn't going to get, I was like, well, I was going to be a photographer. Look at all this camera gear I got. I was going to be a photographer. And he wanted me to take ego shots, And we hung around and I ended up getting into radio. So you were at KPAM for a couple of years.
2.5 years, got fired there because as the PD, I of course was the biggest supporter for programming.
Yeah.
And the inevitable battle between sales and programming was certainly in evidence there.
There are stories there.
Yeah, and the owner decided that he was more. He was giving sales a bigger priority than programming, and so.
I don't think much has changed in radio with regard to that these days.
I remember vividly, we were playing a song called 25 or 6 to 4 in Chicago. Huge hit. Perfect for the audience. absolute must play. He came in one day and he said, "Craig, you've got to stop playing that Chicago record." I said, "Why, Wally?" "My wife doesn't like it."
The age-old story.
And Wally, we're not playing for your wife. We're playing for the folks.
Yeah.
Those were the kinds of problems we were having. Those problems did not exist.
I do know what his wife did like, because every once in a while, because I spent 5 years there after you were across the street, every once in a while it's like, "You need to play Rhapsody in Blue." That's my wife's favorite song,
Yep.
and it had to get on the air.
Yep.